Hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. This one's going to be super short, as I'm sure you've probably already starting to see. The playtest packet for Kobold Press's Black Flag initiative is now out and available to view, and some YouTubers are starting to chew through it, and what I'm seeing so far is not terribly impressing me. It seems that one way or another, you're expected to buy a new edition of D&D. It just might not be Hasbro's D&D. You could buy Kobold's D&D or Paizo's D&D. But it basically sounds more of the same. Trying to serve both masters by having both lineage and heritage and still including background. I feel like it's edging up towards concept overload. And you know, in original OD&D, you had your one type of alignment and your racer class. So you could be a good elf or a lawful thief, any combination of those two variables. Then in AD&D, you can mix and match it more. Now you have two different types of alignment to go together. You can be a chaotic good elf ranger. Now you can be a chaotic good elf ranger raised by dwarves who's also an acolyte as their early training. There's a point where it's getting to be too much like an actual sentence and not a nice little terse, 3 or 4 word character concept that you can just read off and sound like, yeah, I'm playing a chaotic good elf ranger. Chaotic good elf mountaineer ranger hermit. I don't know. There's just a point where it's a minor thing, obviously, but it seems a little cumbersome. But really, the main point is that, oh yay, it's just more D&D. Don't we already have that? How many copies of the D&D rules do we need? Do you know how many OSR games already exist? Do we need more of that? Is the secret truth that so many of these high-level people in the OSR and OGL sphere of game design are just, cargo culting it? They don't actually really know how to design a game. All they know how to do is make D&D rules and little variations on D&D rules, but they're not actually designing anything new. I don't know. You're probably not liking this video, so I'm just going to leave that at that. There'll be a link in the description box below to a fantasy game that does not use Dungeons & Dragons rules, so be sure to check that out. I'm sorry, we already have this. Do we need 2 more versions of something good God. We already have basic fantasy and Old Sword Reigns and Old School Essentials and Lion and Dragon, and the list goes on and on. Osric. There's so many versions. Dungeon Crawl Classics. There's so many versions of this already. Do we really need 2 more? God, wasting our time, wasting their time. But the sad part is so many people are trained to only want to use that one rule system. I'm sure they'll get their sales and their initial buzz over it, but as I say, one way or the other, you're going to have to buy a whole new edition of D&D now, are you? Even if it's not with the D&D logo on it, because that's what Kobold and Paizo are offering. Until next time, hit like and unsubscribe.